What's up, people? It's Alexander. I'm on a drive south right now. It's Sunday morning. It's 9 a.m. Here to have a Periscope AMA session. These always seem to be fun sessions. So, as prior to the last AMA Periscope sessions, Periscope cast, we want to call these, you can ask whatever questions you like, and we'll see how long this goes for. I have no topic of selection to discuss. It's up to you guys. Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about. I'll wait. Going to the gym? No. No, I'm driving to take a ballet class at a particular studio I'm going to check out. Class is at 10 a.m., so I have some time to get there. Do you do shows? Yeah, I do. I do perform. That would be correct. Hi. Hi. It's Alexander. It is Alexander. Where can we see them? Should it ever be pertinent that I feel like sharing that, I will let you guys know. Do you take creatine? Yeah, I inject it straight into my fucking neck right there every day. 15 grams. I mix it with dragon's blood. How many calories do you eat a day? Fucking Jesus. Okay, guys, I'm gonna slit my fucking wrist and answer the questions. My resting basal metabolic rate's about 2,200. That's inactive. If you don't know what basal metabolic rate means, look it up. It's about 2,200. My active metabolic rate is probably around 3,000-ish approximate. So, on any given day, I might eat, exactly 2,200. Well, not exactly. On any given day, I might be fasting, might be hypocaloric. I might actually eat a surplus. I kind of calorie cycle that, depending upon my activity levels and, maintaining a certain state of leanness. So it's not a set amount. I don't measure calories ever because I've already internalized all the informational knowledge-based systems to, assess those things externally. How tall are you? 6'2". So yeah, how many calories do you eat a day? That many. Thank you for your knowledge. You're welcome. You're very welcome. And yeah, if that helps you at all, there's a reason why I don't share my diet with people, because the way I do things, the way I do things is about 50,000 levels beyond the way the average person could do them. I auto-regulate all of my eating and everything I eat, and my overall nutritional knowledge, like I said, I've said this before, is very broad and vast and deep, whatever adjectives you want to use. So my decision making on a daily basis in regards to what I eat, there's a lot that goes into it. And it's like a fourth, fifth order, development versus most people, which is calories. How my metabolism work? I'm already beyond that. Best book you've read? The Bible. Do you floss? Yes, I floss. I actually do legitimately, diligently floss every day. Best book you've read? I just answered that question. I like your hair pulled back. Thanks. I always tie it back in class. Why? Because it is the most complete book in regards to containing a primer on how to live, what it means to live, what it means to establish a relationship with reality. And essentially, essentially, it's a book that has created an entire civilization off it. So that's why. Are you religious, bro? I would qualify as religious probably, but you'd have to qualify what you mean by religious, since I don't know what people mean when they think religious at all. That's always a loaded question. Snapchat. I do have Snapchat. I don't really use Snapchat. I definitely don't use Snapchat now that they've made that stupid update. And yeah, I don't know what the fuck that update was for. say the Bible, I'm referring more so to the Old Testament than the New Testament. That said, the New Testament is very substantial. You gain your knowledge from experience, which is the books. Experience. There is no such thing as knowledge gained through books. It is facile knowledge. It's not knowledge. Reading gives you the illusion that you're knowledgeable about things. It does not make you knowledgeable. It's only knowledgeable if it transfers the actual applied experience, and you can extract meaning from it, and then it reveals to you things you did not know before. The idea that you can read and then you're smart, no, you're not. You just read a lot. True, relevant knowledge, what I consider to be, truth, it comes only through living. Orthodox Jew, no, I'm not. How many Rick and Morty episodes have you watched? I'm halfway through the second season. I hate my friends in life. What do I do? Drop all your fucking friends and change yourself. Good luck. Your life's your fault, so that's a good thing. You get to change it. Do you train daily? Yes. I don't take days off. I mean, I do. I very occasionally. What's next after health mastery? Oh, that's your life. If you have your health in order, then what's left? Your life. Although I would argue in a way that if you have mastered your health, well then, I don't know if you've mastered life, but you certainly are probably doing something successfully. So, for some people mastering their health can be their greatest accomplishment. Alternatively, or in another way, mastering your health could be the platform to do everything else. It depends on where you're at in life. What's next for you? What's next for me? Getting more Twitter followers. Do you recommend history or more tech-based education? I recommend both. I don't know. Studying history is the history of human behavior. You are learning how people behave and how they act, and what are the patterns that construct reality on a day-to-day basis. What are those things? If you learn history from that context, within that context, it makes a lot of sense. I've always been very good at teaching history. I can make any period in history seem fascinating to you, and it will be incredibly relevant and applicable to life. If you learn history as, well, here's things that happened on days, of course it's going to be boring. At the same time, if you're talking about tech-based education, technology. So how are you going to educate yourself on the usage and development of technology without understanding how technology has influenced humanity as a whole? Or how people have been creative in creating technology in the first place? You can't. You'll be incomplete. That's a problem with a lot of the techies in the Silicon Valley atmosphere. I picked up on that over the years. I used to live there as well. You have people that are very tech savvy, very educated, very powerful when it comes to mathematics. They have the mind that is quantitative that way, but they have no concept of human behavior, no concept of history. They have no concept of really understanding their own humanity, and it makes them very obtuse and very humorous ways oftentimes. And the development thereof in regards to the culture, well, it's also become a monoculture recently. So there's a reason why those things happen. Nothing in human history, nothing in human behavior is random. Things happen because of fortune that you can't always predict, absolutely. But randomosity, if you really take a holistic perspective to how people act, it doesn't truly exist. Uncertainty exists, yes, but you can always account for a lot of things. Are you driving a smart car? No. Is coffee good for pre-workout? Yes. What do you do when a personal trainer cock blocks you at the gym? I have no idea. I've never had that happen to me, ever. Is it true in the Old Testament there's no concept of Satan? No. No, that's not true. Although you have to qualify what you mean by Satan and what you think that means. Again, religion is hard to talk about because you can have people using the same words means completely different things. It has become very relativistic, unfortunately. Plus the last 500 years have changed the way the Bible is fundamentally taught and understood, so it's what people think they know, it can be completely false into itself. Do you encourage using supplements for creatine or pre-workouts? I don't discourage it. I mean, supplements can work very well. I have a supplement recommendations page on my website. The fact that, are there supplements that do things? Yes, of course, absolutely. Do you need to be taking supplements, or should you be taking supplements, or why are you taking supplements? Those are questions you have to figure out for yourself. There are certain things that are certainly recommendable, but offhand, I think a lot of people assign magic to supplements. How to develop stronger core, do planks per day? No, your core functionality is spinal stabilization. If your torso is shitty at stabilizing your spine, you're going to be weak. That can be accomplished a variety of ways. Planks are one aspect of that, the most basic aspect. There's also other aspects to core functionality with reflection, anti-flexion, rotation, anti-rotation, overhead stabilization. For starters, do you recommend calisthenics or just straight gym? I recommend both. It's not mutually exclusive. You guys always think that. I don't know why that's a belief. It's like, do you body weight or weights? You do both. Why would you not do both? Was mastery of health, self-mastery, which then opens up the world, your aim? Do you train firearms as well? I do. I'm a pretty good shot. With a Glock. Mastery, was it your aim? I don't know if it was my aim. It was my understanding very early on, watching human beings and people that are healthy. They're more capable, more powerful, more intelligent. Essentially more all-around, adaptable human beings. People that are unhealthy. That's inarguable. So if you want to maximize your existence, you should be healthy. Now, with that said, it's one of the things, of course, it sounds easy to say. A lot of people are unhealthy and it compromises their life in ways they can't anticipate and they don't imagine. And they suffer for it. But workouts are good for posture. That's not how posture works. Posture is not good workouts. Having poor posture is systemic and essentially symptomatic of having a shitty lifestyle in which you don't move, you don't know how to move properly, and your torso skeleton has become out of alignment with gravity. It's not about workouts that fix that. It's about strengthening your entire posterior chain, essentially your entire skeleton as a whole. You restore your relationship with gravity through strengthening your entire body, and then you have good posture from movement. When shopping for protein supplements, I don't feel like talking about that, honestly. Not to blow you off, but protein supplements. I have an article on my website on whey protein, and supplement recommendations. Just look that up. It's one of those questions that's pedantic to explain. Actually, go to examine.com, type in protein supplements. That will cover a lot for you. Far more comprehensively than I could do in a Periscope. That'd just be me rambling for the next 20 minutes. Yeah, I think probably the point that's imperative to understand with protein supplementation is that your body is made of protein. Protein supplements are not special. They're just, it's food. What's a diet you'd recommend to gain? There's no diet that I recommend to gain weight. There's no diet I recommend, period. A healthy diet is a whole food diet that fulfills your nutritional needs. Weight gain is predicated upon eating in a hypercaloric state, which means an excess of calories relative to what you expend. You need to learn foundational knowledge. Are you currently bulking or cutting? Neither. I maintain my body fat percentage year-round through maintenance. Neutral? I wouldn't call it neutral, but the idea that you're either bulking or cutting is not how the body works. That's how people think it works because they read too much bro bullshit. Is there any good music for workouts? I'll share my playlist after I hop off this. Eat meat or bread? Bread, I really don't eat. Meat, yes. What's your BMI index? Relative to my height, I think 25, 26. Somewhere around there. I don't check that ever. It's not important. Going with the flow, create your own flow. Any opinions on Twitter going full politics around? No. Twitter's gonna Twitter. Politics are politics. Have you guys asked me this before? What do you think about this current event? I don't give a shit about current events. I do and I don't. I have a sense of adeptness where history and society is going to go because I view and study history on a very, very, very long timeline. The day-to-day stuff that happens is really not that. Not to say it's not important, but it's to be expected. What blog you follow? Do I follow any? I read Sermage.com the other day. He had some book reviews. Otherwise, I really don't follow blogs at all. To be completely honest with you. I read a lot of blog articles, but there's not really blogs to follow. Where society is going, yeah, Yeah, because if you study human history is the study of patterns, and if you account for the multitude of patterns, because society is a superorganism that's constantly evolving in reaction to itself, you can make predictions on where it's going to go. That's how you can have people like Spengler and Dostoevsky and Nietzsche, and even Jung. Going back farther than that, you can have people. If you read Kabbalion, for example, I guess you call it early Egyptian history. It's easy to predict how human beings will behave in the future because they always behave the same. Can you pack on muscle with direct silly calisthenics? You can build muscle with calisthenics, but it's going to be suboptimal. Is organized religion dying? No. Organized religion will never die ever because human beings are inherently religious creatures, and we will religify anything because we need something to center our origin and our sense of purpose in the world. Religion is never going away. Religion literally runs at the core of our very being. If it's not God, we will find something inferior to it and we will religify that. Baby. Okay. Some of you girls crack me up with that. What do you say to new atheists? Nothing. They can be atheists. Let them. I used to be atheist myself once. Went to ballet, coming to life when I was 16. Let me braid her hair. No. That's very sweet of you, but no. What changed your mind? I was raised in a liberal blue household, atheist. Very much like, I guess, sort of almost, not social justice warrior full way, but very much like the people you see on Twitter now, where they're very self-righteous in their views. They are very certain of their moral superiority. I was that way. And I mean, you could just check off the box for all the, the blue, just think of every liberal thing you can think of. Not hating white people, thinking guns were a problem. Gender identity politics, racial identity politics. I was raised with the mindset that essentially, Republicans were mentally, socially, everything inferior. So I grew up in that atmosphere, and I realized over so many years I was raised that way in a fashion, but at the same time I was always very observant, and I realized there were a lot of hypocrisies to that way of thinking that didn't line up with how reality went at all. On a multitude of levels. I mean, I could list out hundreds of examples. And I grew up through the Great Recession, and I realized that, my parents and everyone else that was, I guess you'd say, in that mode of thinking, they didn't know anything about money. I learned something about economics, and I realized that, a lot of, let's say, quote-unquote, democratic ideals with the welfare state and social welfare were very flawed. I learned about the history of human beings and realized, communism and cultural Marxism and these secular ideas, they didn't really work out so well. It led me to question this. It led me to question essentially everything I thought I knew. Everything. And over time, I realized that I was living in a sort of intellectual, goldfish bowl, and I was not that smart, and I was not that intelligent, and I watched people struggle with meaning and purpose and family, and I watched people that, said them, were very proud they were atheists, yet they would still ask for, pray to something when things went wrong, which I found hypocritical. And then I realized, too, at the same time, that my knowledge of the world, relative to the universe at large, it was so limited, and human ignorance is essentially, the only thing more unlimited than human ignorance is the universe itself. And it seemed very presumptuous to me, from that perspective, that I could presume to know how everything works, up to and including when you die and how you die, and that nothing happens, and be so, as I said, firm in that, and feel such jealous fucking superiority to other people who I thought were religious, and what fools they were. And I had these realizations upon realizations upon realizations upon realizations upon realizations over and over and over and over and over again, thousands upon thousands of them. And then you sort of spin all that together, and then my mind started to change about things. So, that's how I stopped being an atheist. That's how I changed my mind. That's how I guess I ended up being somewhat conservative in a lot of certain perspectives. Were you able to influence your family's political and religious views? No, not really. Not really. On a certain level, I lead them to their suffering. I know that sounds very calloused, but it's true. What's it like in California? It's sunny. It's always sunny. Well, not always, but most of the time. Ever looking to crack for life extensions? Do you think that disintegration of family is bad? Of course that's bad. Jesus, is that a real question? Human history up until the 20th century was predicated upon familial unit. If you disintegrate the very bonds that have comprised society as a whole, you will have problems. Yeah, I would think that's self-evident. Love from Scotland. What's your favorite film? The movie that I watch all the time, I guess you'd call it a favorite, The Mask of Zorro. I've seen that God knows how many times. So many times. So I guess that. Yeah, we'll go with that. Alright, people. I gotta go. Good talk, good questions. Talk to y'all again.